Well, I'm not sure whether I'm up, but I see an excellent condition and excellent connection. Now I don't know what that was. We'll see whether people drop back in. But I was shut down by OBS. I was shut down by I don't know, some technical glitch which I had not seen before. I did an experiment to determine uh, whether it was the OBS, whether I could stop the stream in OBS and continue. I cannot. So if I shut off the OBS streaming, it shuts off the stream. I used to be able to keep it going with multiple people in the Hangout, but now I can't. So the YouTube stream is tied directly to the OBS. Stop the OBS, you stop the stream. So that's what I learned. Stop the OBS stream and you stop everything. And the OBS would not reconnect. It would not reconnect. It stopped once and then it reconnected. Then it stopped again and it didn't reconnect. And then it didn't reconnect twice more, it told me. Yeah, Silver Eagle, thanks. It was buffering. The OBS just stopped giving a signal. And we were, 1 hour into the broadcast and it just stopped. And once it reconnected. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Bear. That's good. Well, we'll continue. I think it's going great today, and everyone's, doing good. I hope everyone's having a good evening over there. And, but, this is, the first time this has ever happened with the OBS, that it stopped the signal and would not restart it. It would not automatically restart it. And so maybe I can, I don't know, open up a different copy of OBS or something and try to piggyback it into it. I don't know. I'll have to think about this. But technology is, they're changing it. It used to be better than it is. So I see a de-evolution in the in this ability for men to communicate with each other on the interwebs and the dark webs. In the dark webs where people can't find us. And we can say what we will. And we know in our hearts we are barbarians, ready to take all. Yeah, and yeah, it's going to happen. I think it's maybe not in our lifetime, but hey, there you go. Excellent, Bear. There we go. Yes, and it was an OBS issue. So if anyone else, you want to tell anyone else that I've had an OBS issue, it stopped streaming through and it would not itself restart. It tried to twice, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll kill it and it'll keep on going, but it wouldn't. So we learn new things. We learn new things and we spread out the information. And this is a feature, I believe, of the current center of the Western civilization, Europe and North America. But not so much in other parts of the civilization and not outside. This is part of the thing, that people give away information. And information is value. I find that true wherever I look. If you have the information, you can do a lot in a little time, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's about saving young men from the need to go out onto that battlefield and just find some woman ready to pregnancy and trap or false pregnancy or any of the bad stuff that can happen to young men. And that men should just hang out in the basement and play some video games and enjoy life. This is what young men should be doing, and older men too. Find out what you're open for, what greatness you're open for, and keep yourself open for it. And put a little thing out there and see if it'll come. But it doesn't come to everyone. It doesn't come to all men, even if they are open to it. But if no one is open, it will come to no one. And in the history of this Western civilization. So many men have had greatness come to them. They've set themselves open for it. They've allowed it to happen. And then it happened. And they wrote it down and they passed it along. And whoever those men were who came up with MGTOW way back in 2001, they knew something. And they knew that a lot of men were feeling bad, and then they analyzed why they were feeling this way, and then they came up and they were thinking about it. So they changed. Maybe they thought about it, they felt it, then they thought about it again, and they did not let the heart rule the mind. They knew there could not be a movement of men any more than you can herd cats, perhaps. But in the long run, enough men are out here talking, and men in good times, men in bad times, and men respecting other men's approaches. I see a lot of that. And this is all good. And that it's really just coming to terms with the nature of reality in all its aspects, not just women, but in terms of the gynocentric system, the legal system, the war machine, the economic disposability of men, the slavery of men, the violence by proxy. Something's got to happen. Men are tired of being slaves, and certainly men want to contribute to the community, but when the community abuses them so badly that this type of support is going to end. And it's not MGTOW who can do this. It's just going to end in the individual decision of millions and millions of men. And so this is what MGTOW sees, and just talking about what we're seeing. This is situational awareness. And I have Big John on my stream, and he's talking about the shit hitting the fan and what we're going to do about it. And again, make sure that you're well prepared. Plan A, Plan B, and if you're really wily, a Plan C. And you've got some resources available. You don't need resources for a long time. It might be good to have it, but you don't need it. You just need resources to get over the worst of it. And you don't use them. You recycle them. And yep. And be better for it. That's it. And be better for it. Realizing your own programming, your own biological evolutionary programming, realizing that the social narratives, they play on these emotions inside, and but you can't let them play on it. You can't let them pull the heartstrings where the heartstrings should not be pulled. There's no reason to pull a heartstring for Cardi B and her filth, and all the rest of these tattooed women who are entitled, who feel like they're entitled to the whole world. Get down in the mines, you bitches. Then we'll see. Oh yeah, but now we don't have to. Yeah. So, this is it. People ride up when all the hard work has been done and want to claim all the victory and all the oppression. No, go fuck yourselves. And that's what's going to happen. And that's what we see. And because, fucking is a woman's thing and not a man's thing. Men are driven to it by biology, but women, that's how they get their value. And they know it, and they don't like it. And they can't do the rest of it. They're not physically strong. They're not testosterone driven. They're not intellectually capable in terms of analytics and clear thinking. And so they provide very little value wherever you put them. And this is unfortunate for them. And maybe unfortunate for men too, because it's always been lovely for men to have someone take care of the house well, although I don't know whether that ever happened according to the June Cleaver model. And but men are better for it if they take care of themselves. And yeah, get down in the mines, you bitches. Man, I just came up with that line. I love it. Yeah, but it ain't going to happen, is it, Aaron? It's just not going to happen. They're not going down in the mines. They're going in the air-conditioned human resources offices, telling men what to do, yoking them so they can leech their salary. You know, no, it's too much. Really, it's just too much. And, if they can do the job, do it. If they can do the job better than men, then, well, the companies would hire them, but they don't hire them. And here's Armchair Revolutionary. How are you doing? How you doing? You're back in the flow. That's good. And hope things are going well. We had technical issues. We've resolved that. And we have an attack again. We have manufactured destabilization. We have de-evolution. We're moving backwards in terms of our capability. I think this COVID-19 hoax is institutional failure, a failure to abide by best practices of modern medical science. And it's done to create fear, to create a need for people to obey, a re-energizing of the mass media, control over people's thoughts. And you can tell who's fallen for it. And, they're navigating the discussion away from what they should be discussing. And at some point, the governments have become so invested in destroying their own economies that the truth can never come out. That no government would allow the truth to come out. That the March 11th press conference by the World Health Organization cited reports of a communist government, reports of an Islamic theocratic government, reports of an Italian government in disarray, and reports of a South Korean government which wanted to disenfranchise a religious cult, that based upon these reports and unproven testing in a number of countries, that there should be a global pandemic. Nothing to say about modern medical science. No virologist cited, no microbiologist cited, no Cox postulates cited, no modern medical science cited. Just reports of communist governments and Islamic theocracies, basically. That was 95% of all the trouble, right there. And based upon that, so many countries have destroyed their economies that the truth will never come out. And now China's having pool parties. God almighty. Yeah. Post-factual, yeah, we're into don't think, feel. And so I'm going to recommend for people, Johnny Midnight will know probably, Thomas Dolby, his seminal work, The Golden Age of Wireless, is perhaps the best synth pop album. It's very dark, it's very great. There's really only great things. The whole thing is great. And, I believe that he artistically envisioned some future events and the past events leading to the future events. He was attuned somehow, in the vibe, we might say. And it was feel. And, his wind power song, Switch Off the Mind and Let the Heart Decide. And that's exactly where we are today, in a post-factual world. Some people call it post-truth world, post-factual, and whatever, it's just feel. Just feel it. The thinking's been done. That's mansplaining. Who was it, that George idiot? George Stephanopoulos or something said that the vice president was mansplaining. Oh, for God's sakes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, destabilization is underway, and it's manufactured. It's all for naught. It's all just for destabilization. I keep on thinking of Zorg, that great scene of in The Fifth Element, where he cites that the destabilization actually is production. And we can go with, Shiva, who's the god of destruction, but in order to create, you have to destroy. And so what some people want is this massive destabilization at this point in time, the election, all the exposure of the deep state by Trump, because he said he was going to do it. Nobody else would do it. So, Yuri Bezmenov, if you haven't seen the video, it's good to watch. And we see the demoralization we see the end of this phase of the empire. The empire will go on. The empire has not always been a liberal democracy. Sorry, Francis Fukuyama. And it's not like it'll go 200 years. No, we may see something else. And what we're seeing is a transhumanist movement. What we're seeing is injections with nanobots. What we're seeing is the ability to scan for thoughts and have thought crime. And we're seeing Borg. And I think, we can imagine people dressing up as Borg in the very near future. This is de-evolution, Devo, Baron Exile. I don't think it comes back. Once you've abandoned truth, why would you ever go back to it? This is idiocracy. So people are afraid, people will obey, and things will break down because there's no adults in the room anymore. Anytime you call for modern medical science, people say, shut up, I want to feel the fear. I want to feel the fear. I want to feel it. Yeah, and they like that. And they'll make movies about it, and governments have all, destroyed their economies. That the debt payoff, we're looking at hyperinflation. Gold's now at 1900. And so it's creeping up. And will the dam break? I don't know. And when the dam breaks, people will be playing Zeppelin saying, they knew. Yes, they did. But we've got artistic visions of the future. It's just hard to tell who's got it. Who's that writer? Blade Runner. Who wrote Blade Runner? The book, not the movie. Yeah, Philip K. Dick. He seems to have an artistic vision capability. He's had some experiences, so his brain doesn't work like other people's brains. So that's why he's written so many, just extremely interesting work. Philip Dick. Dick, man. What, you got a problem with Dick? Oh, sorry, you put it down there. Yeah, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? That's the title, yeah. Which I have not read. I have not read that. Do I have a single Philip Dick book in my library? Yeah, I think I got one. Can't remember what it is. But I couldn't find any. When I found out about him, I tried to buy some, but couldn't find any. Anyway, this is, he's presaged events, I think. And we're looking at, whatever dystopia he foresaw. He saw, I think a variety of dystopias. And we're going to move into one of them because they're doing it, right? They're ramping out that vaccine. Bill Gates and his 5 vaccine companies are set to profit from all of this. The testing is one thing, so they make money on the testing, and then they're going to make money on the vaccines. And, when they need some money, they're just going to roll it out again, put the nanobots in, and they get people ready, willing, and able to take all the junk they're going to inject into your blood vessels. Oh, my God. Resistance is futile. Yeah, we are Borg. Resistance is futile. Hey, it's Mike. Long time. Yeah, good. Well, this is the reboot of the live stream, which I hope is going to be just as good. But, kind of live stream. And we're here talking about the end of history, I suppose. It was predicted by Francis Fukuyama in his work in 1992, The End of History, and presaged by the artistic vision of Thomas Dolby in his album, The Golden Age of Wireless, and perhaps by Philip Dick in a number of his writings. And so we're seeing an artistic I think the movie Idiocracy, tongue in cheek, presage what we're seeing now. It's a post-factual world, it's a post-truth world, and the smartest guy is like stupid, and because they can't think, because all they can do is feel, and nobody can think clearly. In fact, I got this the other day, and maybe somebody can correct me on it. Yeah. I only know of one vaccine company, GSK, GlaxoSmithKline. Yeah, no, there's a whole bunch of. They all want the vaccine, because the medicine industry, after it loses its protection, it becomes generic, and then they lose their profit farming ability, or profit usury ability. And so, yeah, no, they all want the vaccines. They all want more vaccines. When I was young, it was like 6 vaccines they wanted, or 4. Now it's 76. So what are they doing? They're just saying, inject with this, inject with that, become a Borg, right? And then, you destroy your body's ability to fight stuff. And, okay, yeah, maybe somebody dies, but somebody gets autism and dies from the vaccine itself. And there's an office of the United States government which pays people who get serum sickness. That's what Charles Richet, the founder of the science of immunology, the Nobel Prize winner, Charles Richet, in his Nobel Prize winning speech, he talked about it. He said, yeah, some people are going to get it. And anaphylaxis, he invented that, and people die from it. And so, we know this. And it doesn't matter to these people because they're social engineers. These people are dangerous people. Social engineers are dangerous people. We should just say it. And they think they have power. They think they're smart. Well, maybe they're smart. Maybe they're well educated, but they're not smart because they don't know they're dangerous. That's the first thing you should say. Social engineering is dangerous. Look what it did to the black men. Oh yeah, we don't want the black families to be poor but honest. We want the men to be out of the homes. We want to give the money to the women, more money than the men can make, and just get them out of the house, and money will be the solution. So this is what social engineers do. They forget that what the solution to a poor family is not money. The solution to a poor family is love. And that the next generation, if they want to get money, then they've got a good background. They know what they need to do. So, yeah, no, smart is a relative term. And, educated and smart, I think they're different things. And wisdom is a different thing. So, yes, nothing to forgive. That's right. We're in MGTOW. The Simp Sims have been forgiven by Trav. And, how many of us played the White Knight? All of us? How many of us fell into the narratives of chivalry and courtly love and the white picket fence and all of this? A lot. And, yes, that's what the problem is, Mike, because those who are educating themselves are now sheeple, right? If you're educated by a sheeple, you are following orders. Yeah, we were lied to massively, totally, absolutely. And this is part of the problem, is that the lies are coming out. What's his name? Eddington. He said, postulated based upon an unproven theory that the sun is generating heat by thermonuclear reaction. We now know that to be just complete fabricated theory. That is not that way at all. And so, this truth was a lie. Why can't we just say we don't know how the sun creates its power? Why don't we just say that? Well, the scientists are fearful that if they say we don't know something, then maybe religion will come in, or maybe people will downgrade, scientists. Well, maybe they should. When scientists are talking about stuff that they cannot show in a laboratory, they should be downgraded. They're not modern scientists. They're speculative scientists at best, which is no more or no less valuable than numerology or astrology or any of these non-verifiable sciences. Yeah, actually, yeah, it might be humility to say I don't know, but I take confidence in it. I feel absolutely confident in saying I don't know, and it took me my master's degree to get that. I don't know that, but I'm willing to learn. I can learn, but I don't know now. That's fine. We've looked at it. We don't know what causes this. We don't know what causes the energy of the sun. We don't know what causes the magnetic field of Earth. We don't know what causes gravity. And yet we know that they're all true. And so this is a problem. And this is maybe the limitation of what modern science can know. Maybe we need to rethink it. But as a philosopher, I don't care. If you don't know it, I don't have to worry about it. As a metaphysician, as an ontologist, and I don't know is better than something that's wrong, because something that's wrong distorts what I can say. But then I don't know, well, it doesn't. So fuck off with the knowing something that's a lie and telling me so that I have to try to incorporate it. Really, fuck off. Just shut the fuck up. I wish I could say it to modern scientists. Shut the fuck up. It's not modern science. You don't know it, and I don't have to deal with it. Tell me what I have to deal with, and then I'll come up with a metaphysical system. Because right now we're in metaphysical chaos, and have been, I think, in the empire for the last 4,000 years. Ever since the deluge happened, which was apparently what was needed to get rid of the Nephilim, or those who Nephilim, the children of the Nephilim and the humans, as it were. I don't know how many stories were floating around at that area of the world at that time. Anyway, they're gone, and now we're in Plan B. And the breaking point was the deluge, which was not water, perhaps, because not all stories point to water. Some point to water, and some don't. But there was a deluge, and we can look at the sun as being one of the causes of such deluge. Space weather now is becoming more established, I should say, and we've got ideas such as super flares and micronovas, and you see the interaction between electricity and matter. And it looks like mountaintops. Yes, it does. So we're revisiting how the terrain of Earth has become what it is. And this is, I think, what modern science should follow. It should be evidenced in a laboratory experiment first. And people point to Devil's Tower as lava, and there's no fucking way it's lava. It cannot be recreated. Lava cannot form perfect hexagons. But what is a hexagon is the simplest, most basic structure, the most efficient structure of reality, apparently. And why this is here on Earth in so many places. The Devil's Causeway, or the Giant's Causeway, the Devil's Tower, and there's hundreds of sites of these hexagon rocks. And you say, how did they come about? They may be trees. They may be created by electricity, although that seems not possible in such a regularized fashion. But there is, other ways that we can create hexagons. Apparently, there's a hexagon at the top of Saturn. And you look out there at that light in the sky, and you say, why is there a hexagon? And you say, well, why not? Hexagons are everywhere. And so, in that, I think I'm going to take a little break, and we're going to play a little music, and then we'll return. And I'm going to go back to the top, and we'll play from the top.
Yeah.
little break there, and coming back right at ya. This is Big Top Values. This is a halfway break or something, let's hope. And if we don't have another technical issue. And that was Leonid and Friends, I Want to Be Free, a song way back in the 1960s. In fact, I just found another one. I found another song, which I'm hopefully going to find another version of, called Feeling All Right. And that, I like the version by Three Dog Night. Mainly because I'm like a keyboard player, and it's got, I believe, one of the greatest organ parts ever. Man, it's a great organ part in that version. The studio version is great. There's a live version. It's also great. And the whole thing is great. But anyway, this is the Sick and Tired. I don't know. Yeah, Sick and Tired. I'm hearing it. And part of my, I think, way to get over that is that I read Boethius's Consolation of Philosophy. It was recommended to me way back when, and I read it, and I said, yeah, they can take everything from you, but they can't take something. They can't take what's in your mind. So you get sick and tired, and you know you're in and out of the plantation, and you see the fear, you see the obedience, the compliance, the hate, the virtue signaling, and you see the people who have jettisoned thought for feeling, and then you say, well, consolation of philosophy. I may be in a prison of idiocracy, but I'm free. I get to see it. I get to see the unfolding of it. I get to look at it both objectively and subjectively. I get to look at it from this perspective, from that perspective, and I get to smell the roses while I'm doing it. I think that's the main thing, that you're smelling the roses, watching the bus go over the cliff, knowing that there's nothing anyone can do. It's not like it's on autopilot, but I don't know how many drivers are vying for that steering wheel and controls, and it's a shit show, really. And they closed down the economy. There was that video, and this is where I got the title. 4 months they closed down the bars in the UK for 4 months. They said it was going to be 2 weeks. 4 months later, they're still destroying people's livelihood and people's normal living. All for what? All for what? For a mathematical abstraction? And this is all you're getting. This is all you're getting is a mathematical abstraction. Epidemiologists just deal with mathematics. Doctors can say anything on a death report, but it doesn't mean anything if Cox's postulates does not determine a cause and effect relationship. And everything points to correlation. And no one wants to talk about that. Yeah. Yeah, apparently so, MGTOW Smurf. I just found that out. I just found it out. That if it's, it's a cold night, you sleep with one dog. And if it's a colder night, well, you'll sleep with 2 dogs. And, if it's a really cold night, it's a 3-dog night. Yeah, maybe it's amateurishly constructed. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. I have some ability to, look at mathematical models. I use some. And but all mathematical models must be calibrated to reality. Otherwise, it's just an abstraction. So if you have a mathematical model, then you show that it's true in the world somehow, some way. And so, yes, that's what you said before, and I'll agree with it fully. But if that mathematical model is congruent with the facts on the ground, then it may be great. But they haven't done it. So these are like ungrounded mathematical models generating fear. And I think I had a great video, although you don't know at the time, but the structure of the delusion, which is that you take an abstraction and you bring it into an argument. You make the argument valid, and you think the abstraction is real, so you make it sound, and then you believe the conclusion of that argument. And I think that's what we're seeing again. The structure of the delusion is to switch around an abstraction for reality and then act on that basis. Yeah. It isn't congruent with the facts on the ground. That's what I see. I don't see the bodies. And so, yeah, obtuse. If you're talking only in mathematical abstractions or abstractions, you are quite obtuse. And I've got to say, as a philosopher, I would only talk about abstractions. It took me quite some doing to get back to reality. Yeah. Although, reality was always there. But, you move into abstractions and you start thinking in that way. And it's valuable, right? It's like a bridge to a bridge to a bridge. But at some point, the bridge has got to touch land. And, yeah, it would, wouldn't it? How dare you create a mathematical model and demand that it be shown and congruent with the reality? How dare you demand facts on the ground? There is no ground. There are no facts. See, that's it. Just feel. Just feel. Yeah. And the transmission, if there is a virus, which is likely there is a virus, there may be two. I think that there's two, but that everyone's going to get it eventually, and it doesn't make anyone sick. And I know it doesn't make anyone sick because it doesn't make newborns to 5-year-olds sick and die at very high rates, which they should. There should be, a graph, and the graph's going to look the same for every microorganism-caused illness that I could find. That in the young age, it's there and high, and then it goes down a bit, then it comes back up. Yeah. Yeah. No, we're getting bullied. Yeah. Modern medical science and modern science has been bullied. They are now compromised. There's conflict of interest. There's vested interests. We cannot trust modern medical science in the main because it is bought and paid for, and the people who do it are fearful of their pensions. The whole pension scheme has ruined the gentleman scientists which gave us such great inventions that we're using today. Not to say that there hasn't been, furtherance of some of these inventions in terms of development of the microchip and so on and so on. But that for, the stunning inventions, no. We've got conflict of interest. We've got a corporatization of the whole research establishment. Yeah, there might be COVID babies. I don't know what. Yeah, they're supposed to get it and die at high rates because they have no immune system to fight anything. They can't fight any microorganism. So that's why you keep their rooms pretty clean, and if they get sick, you tend them a lot, and then at some point you bring in antibiotics rather quickly until their immune system builds up. So yeah, bovids, my God. But we're just not seeing these death rates, and this is an impossibility. If you don't see it as impossible, I don't know what to say. But there's no mechanism that allows a microorganism to determine the age of the cell of the person it's attacking. And so, the age of the person of the cell that it's attacking. My God, how do I put that right? And this is, this is just an impossibility. So it has to, unfortunately, or would unfortunately, kill them at high rates, and it hasn't. There's 0 deaths. Which in one sense is good because they're not going around and killing babies to make their lie true. So, yeah. Yeah, what the fuck's the difference between an obtuse asshole and a cute asshole? My God. That's great. Yeah. That's great. A little friction here and there, that's great. I can be an asshole. Everyone can. It's not good to do, but, sometimes the situation calls for it, and you do it. Yeah. But I don't know. I think everyone's immune from getting an illness. There's no illness. The last one I got was 70 some symptoms. It's basically everything in the world. Any symptom in the world is COVID-19. So we're into idiocracy. Absolute. Don't think, feel. Obey, comply, fear, hate. Virtue signal. This is it. Don't think, feel. So, this is part of the gynocentric system, right? The skill set that women want is a feeling skill set. The skill set that men want is a thinking skill set. And so, why do women want the feeling skill set? Well, they're good at feelings. And why are men good? Why do men want a thinking skill set? Well, they're good at thinking. But if you think, then you mansplain. And there you have the insult. So that's part of the shaming, the feeling shaming to comply and obey and hate, right? So we're into this type of world. And we know in the MRI that this is true. The brain lights up differently for men and women. Men start to think analytically. They got a huge section of the left and the right brain both lighting up. Women is smaller in both. And when you start talking about language and start to think in terms of language, then women's brains light up really big in the left and a little bit in the right, and men just a little smaller in the left and nothing in the right. And so the ability to blab like this, to go on and on from this to that and try to make sense of it all with a thinking brain is not an easy thing to do for men to do this. Men can certainly sit down and chit chat at a table, and that's one thing. But to engage in an interview, a conversation, to do this type of pirate radio broadcasting is not a skill that every man has developed. And I don't know where I developed it, perhaps by being an instructor, which I was and sort of am. So I was paid to talk. And so you can't pay me to shut up, because I ain't going to shut up. Thank you. But I'm going to have a drink. Let me have a drink right now. Wow, that drink was great. And we will. Let me know what you need later. Okay. I'll try to. You got my. Okay. Okay. Then we're going to. Your jokes need heavenly help. No one's going to heaven, because heaven is right here. Well, go have a rum shot, but I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking anything alcoholic. I'm going to say. Not that I haven't many times while streaming. But I'm drinking. I just invented a new drink. Well, I don't know whether I invented it. I'm probably not the first one. But it's a yogurt-based drink with a little dab of vanilla and passion fruit. So it's a passion fruit yogurt smoothie. Yeah, I've got to say, it's one of the greatest drinks in the world. Yeah, I'm a root beer lover, and I'm going to say that this is just as rich and flavorful as a root beer. Yeah, my God. Can't go wrong. In fact, on my farm, I've grown quite a lot of passion fruit. So, the vines weren't healthy when I came back, but now they're coming back. I'm getting lots of it, which is probably not a good thing. They are a little tart, so you got to add a little sugar, but everything in balance. So, anyway, no, I haven't heard from Savage Reality in a long time. I don't know what he's doing. He's on BitChute, isn't he? He got off of YouTube. It got too weird and toxic, Um, but he's still a friend of the channel, and I know he's doing great things. He's got a lot to say. He's saying the right things, and if somebody, maybe I should go try to chase him down. I haven't for a long time, and I've been, negligent in that. And he dropped in, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or something, just to say hello, which is great. And he's pretty heavy into the deep state manipulations on a very broad scale, which is all very useful and good information as to situational awareness, because we don't know how far down these people will go. They will, look what they're doing now. They're just destroying the economy for no real reason. Where they think that the cure is better, where they know that the cure is worse than the illness, and they don't care. They're just going for it. They're going for manufactured destabilization, because they have a bigger agenda. And their agenda is to create such a tissue of lies that everyone is only talking about their lies, not about reality anymore. And that this whole COVID thing is such a lie that the truth will never come out. And so if you talk about the lie, then they have you. And so this is what it's going to be going forward. We talk about the lie of 9/11, that somehow NORAD stood down because some guy in a cave told NORAD to stand down. None of the generals ever had to go up and publicly say, yeah, we did not intercept 4 planes for the first time ever. Not intercepting 1 plane. And on one day we didn't intercept 4 planes. And that's just it. No generals ever had to stand up for NORAD and take accountability for the grotesque mismanagement that they did, and explanation about why that could possibly happen when those people are paid more money than almost anyone else in the world to do exactly that, and they had done exactly that for 30 fucking years, 40 years. No, the lies and the lack of accountability. We're just going downhill. This is de-evolution. Hey, it's MGTOW Thread. Just chilling. Good. It's a Friday night. And, it's a good world. You just got to know where to find that goodness. And, if most people are pointing in that direction, it ain't there. So we're gonna go in a different direction. Once in a while you join up in the direction. Okay. Sometimes it's just good to drink beer, regardless if everyone's drinking it. Some beer is just good to drink, and some beer ain't. So I think we got some people from the Milwaukee area. Isn't that Pabst Blue Ribbon? Doesn't that come from up there? And although I don't know, it's probably made in a lot of places. Always like Coors. Maybe it was the mountain water they claimed they used. But I don't know if I'm going to believe that claim. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, I think Smurf was just going for rum. Yeah. Yep. Maybe I'll have some rum later on. And get a bottle of Captain Morgan's rum. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I can definitely do that. I tend not to because if I'm doing it, it's sort of permanent. But yeah. If you want trouble, you can come at me. I'll try to be gentle. But I'm 57 years old, and I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I don't need to lie, and nor do I need to tell the truth if it doesn't benefit me. So fuck you. So this is I made it this far. I don't know how much further I'll make it. I've realized I had health issues. I had multiple health issues. I still think I'm unraveling them, to tell you the truth. But I'm feeling much better now. Much better. So, anyway, I'm taking care of stuff, and I think I'm ready to get back to the farming, and yeah, maybe that's what I should do. Is have a drink of rum in the morning, go out in the fields, and fight for my meals. Yeah. But this year, I think this year, if you can just make it through this year, I think that's good. So I'm not planning anything for this year. If you can just make it through 2020, continuing on with whatever you're doing, maybe do a little here, maybe do a little there, but don't think about getting ahead. Just think about surviving it. Think about chilling. Think about just forgetting about the insanity you see. Forget about the manufactured destabilization. Forget about the de-evolution. Forget about the end of empire. All that. Just watch it go by like some sort of fucking dream. And it'll hopefully get better next year. And or maybe not. Maybe these people are going to triple down. They've already quadrupled down. What am I saying? Hoax after hoax after hoax. The mass media just, it's going to try to maintain its grip on these people, and it creates these massive psychosis and neurosis syndromes in more and more people. But I think a lot of people have had enough. They realize what's going on. So, how's Marla? We don't want to talk about Marla, Smurf. We don't want. I'm expecting that Marla's fine. So. In fact, every man should have a Marla. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Hammer 929. Yeah. Just get through. Just get through. There's a lot of men are getting beaten up. They got fired. They got downsized. Whatever. And if you can just make it through, don't worry about anything. Just make it through, and know that there's other men who are doing okay, and some men may be doing great. But whoa. Well, I'm not sure whether that's a bad thing because it's Chicago, and we know who they're going to vote for, right? Or maybe we don't. Maybe I'm assuming something. That shouldn't be. Yeah. Yeah. Good luck. At least you got representatives. In Canada, they don't even have representatives. All they have is parliamentarians, and they represent geographic districts. They do not represent people. So, yeah. No, that's it. Vote early and vote in person. That's a good thing to do, Smurf. So, this election may be key. Those Democrats, as we know, they just tell men to shut up. And frankly, I see them as insane. I'm hoping they're going to be wiped off the map, to tell you the truth. I've never seen such a dysfunctional political party in America, ever. I've never even read about it. Even the anti-Freemasonry party back in the 1800s had more going for it than this. Well, maybe not. Yeah, maybe people are waking up to the riots and shit and the manipulation. This is manufactured destabilization as part of an election campaign. Oh, you can't vote in this president. Look, the cities are on fire. Well, it's just the Democrat-run cities. But and somebody was promised something. I think the mayor of Portland is thinking he's going to get, some plum, position somewhere in the Democrat Party or something. My God, I saw on was it Jimmy Dore? I like Jimmy Dore, despite the fact that he's a communist or socialist, hard socialist. He's what I would call the classical, bleeding heart liberal, right? The classic bleeding heart liberal. And okay, it's nice to be good to people. You have to do it sustainably, but I'm in for it. But he showed Bernie Sanders when he was running to be the candidate, and he was in Ann Arbor, Michigan, with like 10,000 people, and then Bernie shows up to speak on behalf of Joe Biden, and there's five fucking people going to see Bernie Sanders stump for Joe Biden. From 10,000 people to 5. Oh, man. So, yeah, creepy Joe? No. And the, Kamala Harris has an absolute ability to make people dislike her. She seems like she's a loathsome person. Her history makes it seem like she's a loathsome person. She'll play any game to get any advantage. And this is not a good candidate. She put a lot of men in jail for no fucking good reason at all. So this is a woman who just disposes of men to promote her career. And she's not the only one. And it's not only women. It's also men who do the same thing. And so the thing is just, there's men out there looking to throw you under the bus. So this is not a community any longer. This is a war. And there's too many people out there looking to dispose of men in order to promote their career. So that's what it is. It's a war. It's not a community. The best thing to do is to build a wall around your house. And don't let anyone in. Yeah, the beast is coming. The beast will come and it will eat you up. It will spit fire and brimstone. It will remove all hope and leave despair. The beast. Yeah. I can go for that. Yeah, there is the thought of cheating, massive cheating by voter mail-in fraud and shit. That's why I think they thought they could leverage this COVID thing. They didn't know how they were going to leverage it, but they figured they could leverage it, and this is one way. So, yeah, America is gone. It's been replaced by America. America is gone. Now it is America. So, can we move that K back to a C? Well, maybe. I hope so. Not quite half, but some large chunks of my family are American. And as I say, New London, Connecticut is filled with my relatives. And so there's other places too. Do I know that everything is blurry on the screen? No, I do not know that everything is blurry on the screen. I do not know that. Let me... Now, there is nothing on this screen except Lest We Forget and the listening post. I'll put the chat back up. I don't know, is that clear now? And then I'll put a slideshow up here. Ooh, yeah. My headphones. There's the day. It's sort of hazy, hot day. Mountains in the distance over the ocean there. The fields were just cut. So they're Just waiting to be tilled in and then redone. Yeah, put the screenshot. I think I'll do a new slideshow with something. I had these two graphs. If you want to see them again, number of people shot to death by police in the United States from 2017 to 2020 by race. We clearly see, for let's say 2019, which was complete, at 235 versus white at 370. So at 235, it's way out of the percentage of blacks in the community. It's like 13% of America's black, and so it should not be anywhere near this number. This is vastly too high. So, whites, I guess, Hispanics, most of these are white, but there are some black Hispanics, I guess. So, some of, you're looking at maybe 65 versus 13. There's no way. There's no way. And just leave the unknown out. Who knows? But yeah, dramatically out of the percentage. So, and then we look at the bottom graph here. U.S. police kill civilians at a much higher rate than police in other wealthy countries. United States is at 33.5 per 10 million population. Canada's next at 10, just under 10. Then Australia, then the Netherlands. And we go down to the UK and Wales, and it's 0.5. 0.5. So, for some reason, these three countries are, way, 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 way more than other countries. So, I don't know why. This is not good. The oxen are haven't been gelded yet or something, and they're fighting back, and the police just are fearful and will shoot them. There's probably a lot of reasons, but this is just not good. This is not right. And that there is a race problem here between the black and white in number of people shot to death by the police in the United States. Yeah, that's clear too. That's clear. Unambiguous. So, yeah, BLM is right in that. And again, the police have reasons. They've created an underclass of mostly black men, or an underclass with lots of black men, and so they're targets. And because they're targets, they get targeted. And they became targets because of the social do-gooders in the 60s throwing them out onto the street. So, we see the social engineering. We see it coming around. We see it going around. So, Hammer's picture's fine. Okay. I don't know. Are they back and fine now? I'm not getting any bandwidth issues on my side. It's telling me it's excellent connection, and I don't know what happened to OBS before, but we're roughly at that time, an hour into the stream, where the OBS freaked out and canceled itself. So I don't know. We'll try to get over this hump and see if OBS screws around again. Yes, extra. Read all about it. Welcome to my nightmare. I hope you're gonna like it. I don't know, Bear. You seem to be the only one having problems with the pictures. I think. I'm not sure what I can do. Oh, really, Silver Eagle? Oh, man. You just wonder what that is. You wonder what that is. If it's black men, are they, did they knowingly create a baby mama, or was it just, and whites too? Or is it that there's a divorce going on and being driven out of the home, and then it's um, suicide by cop, right? That raises a whole lot of issues right there. But then again, Silver Eagle, I'm going to say that a guy in that situation, right? And we've got a lot of men here who could be in that situation. They give in to hopelessness. They give in to the narrative that you're a disposable man, and they treat themselves as disposable, and they just don't give a shit. And George Floyd had a child support warrant, probably. Yeah, he had a whole history. I looked it up. I saw his, a snippet of his criminal record. He was busted and given 6 months jail for passing on 1 gram of cocaine way back in the 90s. He did that. He came out. He learned how to do a break-in. He tried to do a break-in. He got caught doing the break-in. And then he was sent up for a couple of years, came out, and then it was back and forth with little drug things here and there and not cooperating with police back and forth. And so he was a classic figure, I would say, in creating an underclass. So he was at a couple of universities. He was on scholarships for basketball. I don't know how that worked out, but, he was at university and playing b-ball. He was a tall guy. And then he got busted for the 6 gram, for the gram of coke for 6 months, and that then threw him into the underclass. Congratulations, you disposed of a man, and he was feeding the prison industrial complex in and out of jail for the rest of his life. And so, whatever he did with a woman, they like the bad boys, they like the tall men, and okay, so Tyrone made it, and then obviously somebody needed something to happen, and okay, thanks, Bear. Try it out. That's the thing to do. Then, George Floyd apparently passed a $20 counterfeit note at a store in his neighborhood where he's known, which has cameras, and maybe he knows there's a bill check. The stores that have it, the stores that don't. And then, after buying whatever he bought, walked over to his car with a couple of friends, sat across from the store where he just apparently passed a counterfeit note, saw the police drive up, saw the police walk into the store, and saw the police come out and walk over to his car, and he didn't freak. There is no mens rea right there. There is no way he had a guilty mind and would do that. There is no way the police could possibly put him under arrest, other than the fact that maybe he was known and they wanted to feed the prison industrial complex. There you go. Yeah. Oh, Bear, this is very strange. Try to view, and this one is still fuzzy. And it's only fuzzy for you. I'm not sure what to do. Maybe I'll go to a different screen. I won't play the music. Then I'll come back. I'm coming back here. Maybe I'll turn that on. I don't think that'll make any difference. I'll show this picture again if you haven't seen this. This looks like the
This
future.
is the artificial wood facility, a place where humans could be grown entirely from scratch.
What we got.
The devices you see here are called growth pods. Each growth pod is designed to replicate the same conditions that exist inside the mother's uterus.
Just looks like that fucking little.
Growth pods are designed to host human fetuses until they are.
And so, whatever the future is, Let me try to. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I got a problem here. There. How's that? I just reestablished the chat. I forgot. Maybe I needed to put in a new address. I have to put in a new URL when I reestablished the chat. So sorry about that. I guess it wasn't moving. The old chat wasn't moving. It was stuck on the rendering video, which is probably still rendering. Okay, sorry about that. Technical problems. Technical problems. That's what we got. And we'll rectify it as best we can. And looking at that artificial womb situation and looking at currently there's 117 boys born for every 100 women. Leading me to think that, in the long term, the minute that anyone can determine the gender of a child, they're going to determine it as male, or most. And it is going to be, isn't that funny? Chat replay is still blurry. And small. I don't know why it's small. I can make it big like that. I can make it big like that. We can go up here, and there we go. There. How's that? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I gotta put it back over here. There. I'm messing around with it. I don't know. Is it still blurry? Yeah, that's the top chat. Maybe I should switch it to live chat. Can I switch it with live chat? Interact. Look, I can do it like that. Oops. Yeah, there. We'll try that. Well, let me put slideshow in there. There. We'll try that. Yes. If you feel like you're being censored, let me know, and we'll work it out. It was large enough. Yeah. I don't know why it's blurry. It seems to be only blurry with you. So, I don't know. Maybe it's the rum you're drinking. Yeah. Just joking about that. Or maybe not. Oh shit. Okay, let me do it here. Yeah, if you feel like you're being censored, not only on this channel but anywhere, go to upsidedowntext.com. Just and then flip it upside. You flip it up and people can read it. If you do, if you check both of them, both the little boxes backwards and upside down, you can sort of read it like pretty easily. Wow. See, I'm from Nova Scotia. We're rum runners. I grew up on it, sucking on my fucking baby bottle and put rum in it. Yeah. Well, it's a fighting drug, though. It's a fighting alcohol. You drink rum and you want to start a fight. It works that way. So don't drink it unless you want to feel a little fight. I find vodka makes me slightly intellectual and poetic. Whiskey just makes me introspective and intellectual. Rum makes me want to fight. And, the different alcohols have a different effect for some reason. I don't know what it is. Champagne makes you, giddy. which is nice once in a while. And I've been to some receptions, and it's been sort of demure and quiet, and then they come around with the champagne, and the volume level just noticeably goes up. It's like you can time it. Yes, a pirate ship. This is Pirate Radio. And welcome everyone to Pirate Radio, where hopefully we can speak as freely as we can. Although I don't think I want anyone to suggest things that they might regret later. So I think that's where I want to put it down. Don't put it down in ink or permanently, but if you come on and say it, well, that's said. But writing's a different matter. Because ultimately, as MM was in, he was tired. It's hard to get your thoughts together when speaking. When you're writing, it's down permanent. When you're speaking, you can just blah. Not everything you say comes out smart as you want it to be. And I think we're more forgiving when we speak. So, yeah, a pirate ship, rum, and pirate ship, it goes together, it's the Caribbean rum. And there's still some great rums coming out of the Caribbean. And I think Aaron would know about it. Hey, Aaron, how many different types of rum can you buy down there? My God, I feel like going to the Caribbean and drinking some rum. Get to some of those pirate bays. I was in Rabat in Morocco. That was the capital of the Barbary pirates, and one can see why. It's up this river, and it's a beautiful place on top of there's mountains overlooking the river. There's no way you can sail up undetected and try to sack that city. My God, it would be impossible. Yeah, cane rum. Yeah, it all comes from sugarcane, doesn't it? I thought all rum came from sugarcane. I was down in Bundaberg in Australia, and I took the tour at the Bundaberg rum factory. The tour was nice enough, but then, we had a great party afterwards. I got in this room. Just rum. Man, I was drinking it. Rum. And Bundaberg rums. It was fine rum. It's fine rum down there. Yep. Coming from the sugar cane. And, you get molasses as a side effect, and you get rum and molasses. And there's nothing like molasses in the right place at the right time. In fact, I miss it. It's hard to get where I am, unusually. Right, the fact I'm in the tropics and they can grow sugar cane down here. It's beautiful stuff. Like a tall grass, just like a tall grass, really thick. There's lots of different types of grasses. Rice is a grass, corn is a grass, sugar cane I think is a grass, and wheat, isn't wheat a grass? So, yeah. Now I'm feeling like I'm gonna do rum. So, anyway, I think we've exceeded the first stream where OBS decided to shut down. They decided to shut down the stream, and we had to reboot. And we've passed the that mark, so I don't think OBS is going to shut me down. I don't know what the problem was. My internet did not close off. The lights are blinking like crazy. Yeah, lemongrass. I got some lemongrass growing in the garden, and it's very smelly stuff. I got to say, you just I take the grass cutter and cut a little bit around it, and just cut a couple of blades of the lemongrass, and you smell it. It smells great. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful looking thing. I had a drought, and they withered, and then I relocated them. And so I don't know how they're. One's coming along quite nicely now, but I'll take a picture of it at some point. And so yeah, no, I'm having a good year this year, garden-wise, coming along nicely. My mango tree is full right out front, and I've got custard apple tree. If anyone knows about a custard apple, you'll never eat one unless you have a tree, I think, or have a neighbor who's got a tree, because you don't eat them until they're like super ripe, and there's no way to transport it. So it's got to be tree ripened. So I've got a tree out front, and it's a small little tree, but it's producing like crazy. And so I get to have a custard apple every once in a while. So I sort of wish all you men could come down and try a custard apple, and yeah. I don't know. It's got this extremely distinctive taste, and the Thais use it a lot. They use a lot of lemongrass in their cooking, and I like it. I don't like it a whole lot. It's sort of it's hard to describe. It sort of takes over. It's a very strong taste, and it's sort of lemony. Cherimoya? Let me check that out. Yeah, that's it. Cherimoya. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. So it's a New World product brought over here. Like a lot of them are. Like papaya was New World brought over here. Mine, yeah. Mine looks slightly different than that, to tell you the truth. But it looks the same once it's split open. It's looking the same. I guess there's a lot of different varieties. In fact, I've had two here. My one variety died. I got the fragrant one now. Yeah, American writer Mark Twain called the cherimoya the most delicious fruit known to men. I'm gonna give it that. Yeah, it's quite a fucking fruit, and it doesn't travel well, as I say. Yeah. Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen a flower of it though. I haven't looked for flowers. If it does flower, it's like quick and done. Yeah, somebody called it a masterpiece of nature, and I'll get a picture for you next week. And yeah, lemongrass. No, it's nice if you can find the right dish. You just put it in like a stew or something like that. It changes the complexion. That's maybe the thing about it. Just a little bit just completely changes it. So you gotta like it, and then it's great. But I don't think it's hard to grow because it's a grass, right? It's a grass, and I don't know where it came from actually. Somebody planted it or something, and it just grew out. I had 6 big clumps at one point. I think I've got 2 now, or maybe just 1. But they were massive. They were like a clump. It was 3 feet, 4 feet high, and it would be a good like I don't know 8 feet in diameter. This is a big thing of grass clump. So yeah, no, it rots quickly, and it wouldn't travel, and you can't pick it early and have it travel. So there's just no way to get it anywhere. So I think I don't know, it grows in the Andes, so it's got to be cold weather to some extent. But I'd never heard of it in North America. Does it grow in North America? Probably down in Georgia or something. We need to get Black Wolf here. He's from around there somewhere. But it's a lovely fruit, I have to say. And to have one is, one of the joys of living in the tropics, I guess. Having a farm, and I recommend men get back to nature. I'm not very good with nature, to tell you the truth. Maybe it's just an ideal. Well, go for it then. Go for it. If they're growing there, find out when they season out, and go try a few. Yeah. If you can do a trip onto the plantation. The Cherimoya plantation. Yeah. I never knew that name. There's local names for it, and yeah. It's also called sugar apple or sweet sop. Yeah, so I think it's the same name. I knew it under sweet sop, then the sugar apple, I guess. I think it's the same thing. Is it the same thing? I'm looking at this. Yeah, Ona. Yeah, I guess it is. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. So I think we got 2 pages. They should be merged. These 2 things. Yeah. Well, actually, they say there's a custard apple family. So I'm not quite sure now what I have. Whether it's a cherimoya or a sugar apple. Or, it looks the same, I'm going to say. It looks the same. There's sour sop and sweet sop. I've got both growing. The skin looks a little different, but the inside looks the same, so I got no idea now. Maybe I'll have to get one of those trees. Holy shit. Guanabana. Man, oh man. Yeah, no, that's the sour sop. Okay. Yeah, I think the guanabana is the sour sop, which I also have growing, and it looks similar on the inside to the sweet sop, So, and that's really great. You make a drink from it. You make a drink from this. You put it in the blender and you make a drink, and that's how you eat it. And you eat the custard apple with a small spoon. So, yeah, my oh my. All these great fruits. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Beyond the pale. That's it. White fruit with black seeds. And the dimple skin, sure. Yeah, super sweet. Yeah, you see, that's what it is. It doesn't come cheaply. If you want to transport, my God. Because, I would pick it a little bit unripe, and it wouldn't ripen up right. And if it falls on the ground, it's too ripe. So you got to get it just at the right time. Bring it in. You got like a day, maybe 2 at the most to eat it. So yeah. $5 each. Yeah. That's an expensive fruit. Holy shit. It's an expensive fruit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think there's a whole bunch of them now. The sugar apple, the cherimoya, a whole bunch of stuff. And then, the sour sop, and then list of cherimoya cultivars. Man, look at them all. Look at all the cultivars. Yeah. I guess you got to go to a farm. Yeah. Yeah, tamarind. Nice. I had an idea to plant a tamarind tree, and I planted it too close to the house. I'm going to say that. And it grows really big. It grows really big. But it was nice to have the tamarind. I have one out back, but I don't get out there often to pick it up, pick up the fruit. But, that's a lovely thing. Yeah. Yeah. One would point out the doomed fish, and then they would kill it for you. Lovely. Yeah. You fish are doomed to dinner. But, that's the lot of a fish, to feed some other bigger fish, or to feed humans or bears or whatever it is. All you do, I think, Bear in Exile, is thank the fish for giving its flesh to you. And that's how the Native Americans thought of it. And it's a live and let live world, and then live and let die world. And oh wow, one decisive blow, and then it turns blue. Nice. Yeah. This is the world we live in. We're interpenetrated with life. There's living things inside of us. There's how many thousand bacteria on our hands. We don't want to think about it, and yeasts and every other living thing we can imagine. And we wash our hands and we kill millions of them every week. So the only difference between a trout and a bacteria is the size. And if you think that small people are less valuable than big people, then fuck you. So we live in a world of life and death, and this is our existence. And if you can't get over that, then you got a problem. You got a problem. That's just the way it is. And you don't kill unless you need to kill, and you're gonna wash your hands, so you're gonna kill. You're gonna eat, so you're gonna kill. So just get over it and enjoy life. No, you don't really want to eat a poached bacterium, but then again, you don't want to know what's in your stomach either. You don't want to know what's in your stomach, because that poached trout goes into the bacterium in your stomach, and they help digest the food for you, so you're alive. Apparently, there's a couple that we actually need. It gets in our system and says, "This is where I belong," and it starts to multiply. What is it? 3 kilograms of foreign life forms exist in our body or something? I don't know if it's quite that much. Maybe it's 3 pounds. I forget the system, but 3 of something. So, we got a lot of stuff living inside of us. We're not alone. You can think of it that way. We're not alone. So, although I got to say, in my yogurt drink, I just had bacterium. I'm pretty sure it's what do they call it? Bioeffective or biotic yogurt or something. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. The giant bacteria. Yeah, it would be a strange world if we had like giant bacteria. Yeah, probiotics. That's it. So I had the probiotic yogurt. So I was eating bacteria, but it wasn't one of these like giant mucus, like a mushroom. Yeah, a bacteria the size of a mushroom, or an amoeba the size of like a mushroom or something like that on the plate. Well, I suppose the aliens probably have a life form like that. I don't know. You know, the world is an amazing place, and different worlds are probably equally as amazing. So, you know, people eat what, jellyfish? Doesn't somebody eat a jellyfish somewhere? Do people eat jellyfish? There's a question. Do people eat? I read that they do. The one kind or something at least. Edible jellyfish is a seafood that is harvested and consumed in several Asian and Southeast Asian countries. There we go. Edible jellyfish. Wow. If you can't beat them, eat them. Oh my God. Jellyfish. If you can't beat them, eat them. Yeah, there we go. There's your nasty texture like mucus. Yeah, just think about the jellyfish like a giant bacteria, and cut and dice and all manner of nice. Yeah, the Chinese and others. Yeah, I guess. So, yeah, you know, looks fine. I don't know what it would taste like. Somebody go out and try some. Oh, you tried it. Good appetizer. Wow. There we are. Nice. Why not? Why not? What does it taste like? He asks. Yeah. Ah, God, yes, Aaron. That I think is a great summation. I've got my little worries, but the world burning is not one of them. Why? Well, 10 years ago, I decided to sell my place in the city and move here in case the world should happen to burn. And my God, it's burning. 2020. We'll make it through, but yeah, mild flavored and crunchy. Nice. Wow. Yeah, enjoying Asian fruits. That's what I like. In fact, I had some papaya from my farm this morning, and just had a passion fruit drink with my probiotics, and all is good. All is good. You just got to plan ahead. You got to open yourself for it. I didn't do it overnight, and I didn't know what in the fuck was going to happen, and it seemed rather crazy to do at the time. But I was reading the signs, and now, you know, I can't withstand everything, right? And things may collapse, right? The power could go out, and I got a gen set, but then the gas might stop, and then, you know, I haven't. I can convert my gen set into like you burn wood under certain conditions, and you can fuel the gen set. So I've got a video on how to do that. I've got to go talk to the guy down the road. He likes to do shit like that. So I think I'm going to get him to do that. That's one of my projects. But I got, you know, I don't have trouble talking to this guy, but, you know, I don't know whether he'd be into it, and I can't take rejection, because then my plan fails. Although I suppose I could get him to make another guy to make it, or him to make it, another guy maybe. But you know, it's just a matter of running around and get stuff welded, and then there's the tinkering. And I'm just not in the mood for tinkering at the moment. So, but to build a generator, an electrical generator that runs on wood and wood chips and shit, you know, that's my next project. In terms of while the world is burning, I'm enjoying Asian fruits and having electricity run my fans at night. Yeah. But, you know, in Idiocracy, in the devolution, and in the clown world upside down, You don't know what's going to happen, so get prepared. Plan A, Plan B, and hopefully, if you're lucky, Plan C. And be ready for opportunities when they take place, and that may happen. So yeah, things can be good. You got to make the most of wherever you are, but the main thing is MGTOW Ghost Level 4. Don't engage in any situation that doesn't look like it's going to provide a benefit. And you don't want people to know that you were either there when you were there or not there when you should have been there or whatever. You're just keeping a low profile, taking stock of things, building up strength, making plans, taking different avenues, and keeping yourself open for greatness, however that may happen to you. And there's a lot of men doing great things, a lot of men just hanging out, enjoying life, and that's great too. And in this year, I'm thinking we just want to hang out and not worry about it. Depends upon the year, actually, Bear. It's raining about 2 days a week now for the last 3 weeks, something like that. And we had like a dry spell of 4 weeks, and then before that it was raining 3-4 times a week. So, and you know, it's hard to say whether we're going into the rainy season or coming out. So, but it's lovely rain. In fact, at one point, you know, it was raining every second day or something like that. And it was at night. So it was sunny and hot in the day, and then at night it rained. Then the next day, sunny and hot. Then at night it rained. And I thought I was in fucking Camelot. Yeah. Solar? Holy fuck, solar. I heat my water with solar. Solar power? Yeah. I got a tank. You know, I got a well, so I pump the water from the well, pump it up into the tank, and if I don't use the water from, say, you know, 10 o'clock on, if I take a shower at 2 in the afternoon or something, I'm getting a hot shower, a beautiful hot shower if I want. And so yeah, and that's just, you know, water hitting the tank, the water tank. But if I had the panels, I think there's one guy here with some panels. He's running something with the panels. I was looking at getting the panels, but yeah, I'm not that technically minded. Maybe I will at some point. And so yeah, I get a lot more out of solar than where you are. Although is Chicago sunny? I think it's sunny. Like the whole west area is sunny. I'm from, you know, out east where it's fucking, you know, miserable and cloudy, you know, week after week after week. And even there, people have solar panels. On a cloudy day, it'll generate some electricity, I know, but yeah, I'm going to say we get this tropical haze all the time, Bear. It's like it's not a clear sky. It's like hazy. It's hot, and you know, it's pretty humid, but it's hazy. And so there's sun, but it's not like coming through a crystal clear sky. So it's diffracted, I guess, diffracted by the water vapor in the atmosphere. And it's hard to get rid of the tropical haze. It's almost every day. You know, I'm looking. I can sort of see the mountains, but it's not. I can't see it, you know, clearly at all. But on a clear day, oh yeah, I can see the mountains clearly over there. So overcast. Yeah. Some days are pretty clear. But the clouds, you know, the clouds start to form around noon anyway. Yeah. Oh, really? The new and full moons. I'll keep my eye open for that. I didn't know that. Yeah. So, oh yeah, I remember that. I was in New York once. I was staying in some apartment, and it was like, I don't know, some floors up, and I looked out. I looked out the window, and we were planning on taking a trip around Manhattan on the boat. And I looked out and I looked up, and it looked gray to me. So when they phoned, I said, "No, it doesn't look very sunny today. Maybe it'll rain." They said, "What are you talking about? It's a beautiful sunny day." So I walked out on the street and looked up. It was a beautiful fucking sunny day. But from the window of the apartment, I couldn't see it. Holy shit. Yeah, couldn't look up high enough to see the sky. I'm in Southeast Asia, Silver Eagle. I'm in Southeast Asia. Tropical world. Southeast Asia is a pretty big place. There's 750 million people. So it's a big place. And Southern California is pretty, it's pretty clear. It's a desert. LA's a desert. San Diego's not. San Diego's pretty lush and tropical, but by LA you're into desert. And but clear, yeah. Although the smog is something else in LA. My God, the smog. But Silver Eagle. I think it's I'm in exile, as it were, from the West, and I got out in 1998. Haven't really been back. Little visits, and it's a different world here. It's like I'm living 150 years ago. That's what I tell people, and I don't advise people do what I did. But there's other ways to get what you want, whatever you want. And you just got to be smart about it. The situation is changing everywhere. Hand phones are bringing in disaster after disaster everywhere where they go. And this is a problem, but currently, it's still okay to live here. For young people, it may be very different. So we'll have to see what happens. So, yeah. No, it gets very hot in LA in the summer. Yeah. And you get sunstroke too. A friend of mine here just got sunstroke. He went out on a boat for the day and wasn't wearing a shirt. He never wears a shirt here, but normally he's not out in the hot sun on a boat, and that's a whole different thing. So So northern people got to watch it when they go down and be a snowbird. So you got sunburn. Yeah. Skin's not used to it, and even if it is, that sun down there, that's why they wear the sombreros. They don't wear sombreros for nothing. You got the ponchos and the sombreros, right? There's a reason for that. That sun down there. I spent some time in Arizona. Fucking hot, man. Fucking hot. Once you get used to it a bit, you can deal with it. But coming from the north, I ain't used to it. There we go. Yeah, and it's all good. The climate is not changing to the detriment of humans, at least not rapidly. The global cooling fear, and here we have a fear obey in the 1970s and 80s of global cooling has changed to global heating, global warming in the 90s and 2000s, and that's now been replaced by climate change in any direction. And so you have fear, obey, comply, hate, virtue signal, don't think, feel, all of this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, maybe the DNA is something to do with it. Apparently the darker skin can handle the sun slightly better, but once you get used to it, you get used to it. And but I guess the Scottish people with their white skin and red hair, yeah, they tend to burn more and never get over that. It's either white or red, white and red, and never get brown. So if you're that type of person, you got to watch out for the sun. But you can get an underlying tan, which will sort you out. Just don't go out in the heat of the day, man. Nobody goes out between 11 and 3 where I am. You don't go out there. And if you're out, you're under in the shade and then in the sun a bit, in the shade of the sun. Yeah. If you're Casper, watch the noonday sun. Mad dogs and Englishmen. No, you got to especially if you're not used to it. I go out in the noonday sun once in a while just to get that complete and total blast of sunshine. Get the blast of sunshine. And but I don't want to do it every day, and I don't want to work out in the sun too long during that time. I was out cutting the grass the other day. I ended at 12 noon, and it felt good, actually. It felt good. But the heat is different than the cold, and most of you people in North America know the cold. Aaron's lucky. He's down in the climates which are amenable to year-long fun. I got fun in the sun. I got fun in the sun all year long. In fact, it's work for me now. Every day I wake up and say, "My, what a beautiful day." And it is. And none of the people here notice it, but I do. And I make a point of noticing every day, my God, it's a great day. Now it's not too sunny. It's sort of overcast today. And, hazy and overcast, but it's still beautiful. Very bright. And, there's lovely places to be in this world. And if you can get out of Chicago and get to one of them, although, Chicago has its values as well. And, but currently, I think it's probably negative. But get to a nice place, and there's wonderful, great places in North America. And, I'm thinking it'd be nice to be on a farm. Doesn't matter to me anymore. Put me on a farm. Fresh air, healthy, being with nature, taking care of animals, whatever. Physical work keeps a man young and strong, fit. All of this is good. And, Beyond the pale, my local ability to speak the local language is limited. To put it plainly, limited. I can get by with rudimentary interactions, but you ask me anything complicated, or you expect me to say something complicated, I cannot. Although, I'm going to say I have 500 words. So I can say anything. If the other person understands, I only have 500 words. And so, I realized this in having to teach English, but also in having learned French and understand that with 500 words in French, I could say anything. If the other person allowed me more words than I needed to get at it, then they would say, "Oh, you're going here. Yeah, I know there." And then there's this. "Oh, I see." So, the morons? What in the fuck you mean morons in Utah? I think that's crazy to call them Mormons. Oh, I thought it was morons. Silly me. Silly me. Yeah. No, I think it's better not to be mentioned. Mentioned the least means it's probably the best. Yeah, I drove through Utah, and I got to say, my God, what a beautiful place. What a beautiful place Utah is. I'd become Mormon, whatever that would mean. Oh, I got to read the Book of Mormon and go with the alien, angelic intervention. Okay, I'm up for that anyway. It's an alien religion, by the way. It's really weird. Anyway, I think they're clued in. I think the future is going to be either Amish or Mormon. I can't quite tell which. But there's only two groups of people breeding. the Amish and Mennonites, and then the Mormons. So, yeah. Yeah, and I see this abandonment of cities as a key ingredient in reestablishing a healthy life balance. And if you get out into the country, you turn off the mainstream media, you get to see what life is really about. You know, when the mainstream media started with its news programming and things, I think it was real. Yeah, I think it got hijacked. I don't know when, but when the 6 corporations began taking over everything and there's interboard connections and stuff, then we got to the mass media being just a propagandist. So I don't know when that happened. It was incremental. You didn't see it. At one point, they were willing to, do a undercover expose of some type of situation. But now they're refusing to do it because that's their money. So they won't bite the hand that feeds them. And so they're captured, right? So regulatory capture happens when corporations take over government regulators, revolving door, and then we have media capture where the information has been captured by corporate interests. So we're into a fascist corporatocracy, what do you call it? Corporatocracy? Anyway. And so corporatism is now the government, de facto government of the West. And this is infiltrated into the funding for universities. And these people are just as happy to have people all excited about what the Marxists want to talk about, as long as they're not talking about the corporatism that exists. So this is deflection, misdirection. So, and now we have, what is it? Facebook just eliminated 282 ads for Donald Trump. I think this is extreme. And they're doing it for hate speech reasons. My God, this is like, these companies should get the hell out of America. I think that's going to happen in Trump's second term. They're looking at antitrust. They're going to do something. So, yeah, the end of the civilization. And again, I think it's just a phase of it, because the civilization didn't end with the Roman Empire ending. You know, half the Roman Empire continued in Constantinople, and then the empire just reformulated under sort of a Germanic mold, and then they re-infused energy into the Roman system with statute law and other Romanesque inventions in the 20th century, and they're trying to return to the Roman Empire. But Charlemagne reestablished some type of, he called it the Roman Empire. And then when Frederick crossed that river into Turkey, they called it the Holy Roman Empire. And then when the French didn't like that term, it got switched to the Holy Roman Empire of the Germans by 1546. And, that lasted 1,000 years, from 800 to 1806, when Napoleon's intrusions, let's say, caused the dissolution of that empire. But for 4 years, the Habsburgs were the emperors of 2 different empires. They were the emperors of the Holy Roman Empire of the Germans and emperors of the Austro-Hungarian Empire for about 4 years. My God, and that was a massive amount of territory and power, and there are still Habsburgs running around, so watch out for them. So yeah, the end of the civilization. Well, it's been going on for 6,000 years since its beginning, back in Mesopotamia, Persia, ancient Egypt, and these ideas filtered through Anatolia, Greece and Rome were both going back and forth across these territories, gaining, the insights. This is one civilization, and using those insights and then furthering it, shoving it up into Europe, where Francis Bacon and Rene Descartes created modernity. And from modernity, this is the era we're in now. This is the phase of civilization that is ending. And they wish to remove modernity, which is modern science. They wish to remove this and place us back into some non or pre-modern type of existence, where you feel and you don't think, where what is wanted is to fear and obey. And I think we're being prepared for something major. We've had major events happen in the past, stunning events, and I think we're looking at that moving forward. Whatever this is going to be, I don't know. The Mormons have given some indication. I think other people have been giving strong indications that, if you look at the Quran, the word angel is mentioned once every 3 pages. And the same is true of the Council of Nicaea Bible, and the same is true of the Apocrypha. We seem to have an angelic religion in the Abrahamic tradition, spiced up with some type of explanation, which seems to override the earlier explanation that existed in ancient Persia, Mesopotamian Egypt, as to a pantheon of gods picked up by the Greeks. And they all seem to follow a 3-tiered system, where we have the initial, then we have the second, which overthrew the initial, and then we have a third, which overthrew the second. And so right now, in the Greek pantheon, we're in the Olympian pantheon with Zeus running things, and we want to wonder what that's about. Obviously, they were much closer in time to what has been reported in the Book of Enoch. And what they're talking about is apparently what the Pentagon has admitted. There was a new saga, a new story in the saga of the Tic Tac. Someone else has come up to state their participation in that interaction, which was a whistleblowing interaction. The Pentagon didn't release it and didn't confirm it until the documentary had been made, and they knew that it was going to be released. And they said it was true, but there's so many non-whistleblowers stating very similar things that that we've got a direct line from the Mormons, from the Pentagon, from the non-Pentagon, from NATO, from people on the street, all the way back through the Middle Ages, to the ancient times, all the way back to the first writings we apparently have. So the civilization is a long civilization and is being groomed, is being farmed for something. And it breathes. So I think we're seeing breathing going on, Bear, that there's a breathing going in and a breathing going out. Into the cities, out of the cities, from this place in the empire to that place in the empire. And whatever it is, it's this empire, it's this civilization that seems to be the fuel, the energy, the drive of whatever is happening on planet Earth. So, and that's what happened when Rome collapsed, is everyone got out of the cities, and a lot of people died because the structures were gone. And if electricity goes, then you can betcha going to be a lot of people dying, a lot of people moving to farms, and that may all be well and good. And if this happens worldwide, we'll see a restructuring. But currently, without fertilizers, which require electricity, or at least some energy to make some of the fertilizers, productivity will go way down. Pesticides are needed to manage the pests. But yes, there will be great benefits. Instagram will go out. I think Instagram should be immediately banned, like Twitter, like Facebook, immediately banned. Oh yes, no, there's no have to. There's no have to. And again, there's directions moving, and if somebody can have an artistic vision and I believe someone does, right today has an artistic vision of what it will look like in 40 years or 60 years or something. And we don't know, because some people, they don't have an artistic vision. They just, write it out. They just create it. But other people, I think they click in. They clue into something. Something's happened to them where they're able to see things they shouldn't be able to see momentarily. And based upon that image, can draw what the future will be. This ability to see into the future is due to the misalignment of the laws of physical nature. They're slightly misaligned, which allows consciousness to see things like around a corner that it shouldn't be able to see. And you can't see very far because the misalignment's not great. And because you only get a glimpse, it's just an artistic vision. You can't ask questions. You can't take information as such, but you can get a glimpse of it. And so we've determined experimentally that we can look at an overhang of pre-time in the delayed choice quantum eraser. So this is measurably and repeatably demonstrated. And in the future, we haven't come up with an experiment for that yet, but we may. And so, I'm hoping for a quiet world. As long as people can make their own ammunition, it'll be much quieter. And in some way, Baron Exile, Jefferson had the warden system, which was, oddly enough, very similar to Trotsky's Soviet system, where there's just small communities and small states that are interlinked with an agreed upon structure. And I think we can move towards this. I think the closer that sovereignty remains to each individual, the better it is. And that we don't have police, doing civil forfeiture or eminent domain or, attacking people for victimless crimes, which is now a bane. It is a bane on the community. And that they target, certain underclasses of people, which are, predominantly or more predominantly black, because the social engineers have tax farmed everyone and given money to destroy black families, creating this underclass. Well, it only gets worse. You get into these large states with large power, and while there's a reward, there's a risk, and you don't know where the risk is going to appear. And what we see it appearing is the prison industrial complex, the military industrial complex, bombing. 28,000 bombs a year from Obama, bombing. And so, this is, and again, we see the abstraction of a crazy idea, feminism, putting in abstractions into an argument and thinking that the argument's valid and sound, and it's not, because you've got an abstraction. And so it's downhill. It's definitely downhill. It's downhill in terms of government grabbing power, creating a gynocracy, where the social skills are the women's social skills and not the men's social skills. I'm on this track in my thinking that men should retake what they consider valuable in terms of social interaction, and it is not what women consider valuable in social interaction. So that women think that men have low social skills, well, they're basing their criteria on what women think is important, not what men think is important. Women should get together in their clucks and clutches and then cluck about like women do. They chatter, and that's the end of it. But men do different things. Men like to shut up and listen. men like to research, and then when they have something important to say, they like to say it. And they like to have everyone listen. And then they like to have somebody think about what they said for more than 1 second. Unless it hits you in the face. In some cases it does. The idea hits you in the face and you just stumble back. And it's not vacuous chatter. And this is a social skill for men, is silence. And well, yes, on radio, you don't do it, even pirate radio. We like to keep the silence at bay. Yeah, that's part of what this is. But in other conversation, no. There's nice silence to allow the digestion of ideas, the consideration of possibilities, and then you move forward. And yes, the future is you can put almost the whole now of at least virtual images and virtual writings or books on document files on a backup hard drive of a couple of terabyte or something. You've got a vast amount of history and knowledge on one backup hard drive, and you can go out into the wilderness and you've got all of civilization almost at your beck and call in terms of information, and you just pour through it, all the great writings, all the shitty writings, and if you got time you can separate, you can follow a thread and get to the core of great information. It's out there. Hey, the picture is definitely looking crisper. I like that. Yeah. And, there's something about regular books and microfiche. I know. My fear, and, I didn't come up with this idea, that if it's all on virtual stuff, one press of a button can change all the files. So you change one word to another word and change the meaning of a document. And you can never find the original. We're looking at a world like this. This is a sick world. This is a dangerous world. Yeah, risky. When you can, Google cleanses the interwebs now. They're just doing it. You look for it again, it's gone. You got to save it. Videos, documents, everything now. So if you think it's worth reading, it's worth clicking, right-clicking save. That's what I think now, and I recommend men do it. Yes, a world with only virtual records would be an Orwellian world. And that's, that maybe is where the idea came from. They scrubbed it, right? They scrubbed it. They scrubbed history. And this is, I think we're creating in real time a scrubbed history with this COVID thing. There's just no way you can talk about what you think. All you can talk about is what you feel. And so, without having any ability to speak truth, to speak or to ask what the truth is, and to demand that it be a thoughtful truth, a practical truth, a truth that's demonstrated in the world. If you can't demand that the truth be demonstrated in the world, then there is no truth. And then there is no world that you can live in. There's just a virtual feeling world. And maybe that's the Orwellian world, is that it makes you feel and it doesn't give you anything else. And ultimately, it's not sustainable. Because a world separated from itself will not survive. So a virtual world separated from the actual demonstrated world will eventually collide. And again, temporarily, there's great reward for those who are willing to do this risk of the manufactured destabilization, of the creation of fear, obedience, compliance, hate, virtue signaling. There is a reward for taking this risk. But that reward, that risk, will only be reward until it's not. and then there will be a price to pay. And you know, I don't want to be anywhere where that price comes to exact itself. It may be in Chicago, it may be in the cities, it may be somewhere else, it may be in certain countries. Don't know. But the cost of shutting down economies like this, of this massive, sudden restructuring, I don't know. This cost is going to be massive. And we're just going to see people getting thrown out of houses, and we don't know what's going to happen. Bankruptcies, people who build apartments and homes, and who knows. It's going to be a mess, an absolute mess. Yeah. Anyway, I think we're going to end it here. Our good friends, everyone who's come to join, and thank you all for coming in. Another great discussion, moving around from all sorts of stuff, from fruit farming to worm farming. My God. I was thinking about setting up a worm farm. You know, it's great for organic fertilizers, and it helps the soil and helps things grow and stuff. And this is a good thing. And we need to have a lot of people doing a lot of farming, and that'll be a great thing. And so I think we're going to end it here. And thank you, everyone, for rejoining after we had the OBS meltdown. In fact, we did have an OBS meltdown. And I don't know, I reinstalled or updated the program, and it never happened before. We'll have to see what happens in the future. But we will continue to broadcast from this pirate radio station, MGTOW Values. And keep in touch, Ben, and it's great getting together and remaining sane, free, and self-preserved. Remember, MGTOW Ghost Level 4. Spread the word. You're not alone in thinking this is an upside-down clown world, and a lot of other people are. Small channels, big channels, people on the street, people you wouldn't think. Everyone's aware that there's something wrong, and we're remaining sane. And I'm going to end with this adage. Good men, take what you can now. Whoops, let me write it. There we go. Good men, take what you can now. Thanks for the stream, and we'll catch you next week, or maybe if something happens in the middle of the week. Anyway, take care, man. Take care.